Hi, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Today's word of the day is 나무, which means tree. This is a check-in form, but you don't have to do that today. Today we'll be learning greetings in Korean, and we'll be learning about the concept of honorifics and basic greetings in Korean. I won't be sharing my iPad today. So, honorifics is something that you would use to be polite to anyone that's older than you, and this concept is called 유교, and it's based off Confucian ideals and respect. So you might have heard some K-pop idols calling each other's 유교 boy, like someone that's very respectful. And another thing about yugo is in Korean, it's very common to bow to your elders. So they say the more down you go, the more respectful it is. But the usual is 90 degrees. So that you might hear 90도 인사, which means just 90-degree bow. And you would have your hands on your belly button. That's how we learn when we're little children. So 존댓말 is honorifics. 반말 is plain language. You will see 요, 입니다, 이에요 at the end of 존댓말. And 야 is very 반말. It's just like hey. And 네 is like yes, but in 존댓말. So these are some of the greetings. I separated it into 존댓말, formal language, and 반말, which is plain language. So there's 안녕하세요, 안녕하십니까, which means hello. And you'll see that the longer it gets, most of the time it's more formal that way. And then there's 반가워요, 오랜만이에요, which means 반가워요 means nice to see you. 오랜만이에요 means long time no see. And these are both very formal. 안녕히 계세요, 안녕히 가세요 is like bye, but 안녕히 계세요 is when you're leaving and they're staying, and 안녕히 가세요 is when you're staying and they're leaving. So think of like if you're having a house party and they're leaving, they would say 안녕히 계세요 to you if the house party is at your house, and 안녕히 가세요 is something that you would say to the person leaving your house. 다음에 봬요 means see you next time. And 시옷, you'll see that a lot of 존댓말 words have 시옷 in them, like 반갑습니다, which means 반가워요, and they're the same meaning. They mean nice to see you. It just makes it more formal. 여보세요 is something you would say when you're answering the phone. You would answer the phone and say 여보세요. And then there's 감사합니다, 감사해요. 감사합니다 is a little bit more formal than 감사해요, but they're both 존댓말. And 감사합니다 means thank you. 죄송합니다, 죄송해요 means I'm sorry or I apologize. And 죄송합니다 is more formal than 죄송해요. So think the more longer it is, the more formal it is. And the 반말 versions of this, the plain language versions, the language you would talk to with your friends, means 안녕. You've probably heard this one before, which means hi. 반가워 means nice to see you. 오랜만이야 means long time no see. 잘 가 means bye, like go well. 다음에 보자 means see you next time. 고마워 means thank you. And 미안해 means I'm sorry. So I separated these again into formality levels. I'm probably saying that wrong. And you'll see that the longer it gets, the more formal it is. So there's 안녕, hi or bye. 안녕하세요, and usually you would say with a bow. 안녕하십니까 is a more formal hello, and you would bow too. 안녕하십니까 is used in like companies, like when you're at work and you're like in a meeting and you're like saying hi to your boss, you would say 안녕하십니까. And then we have 미안해, which means sorry. 죄송해요 is I apologize. 죄송합니다 is I deeply apologize. 고마워 means thanks. 감사해요 means thank you. 감사합니다 is thank you but more formal. And here's a little fun fact. Some people will text slang by purposely spelling it wrong and to make it come off more playful. And an example is that MOAs or TXT's fans, they kind of spell 감사합니다 as 감사합니다 because of 범규's pronunciation of it, because he kind of just rolls it around and says 감사합니다. So they spell it like 감사합니다 instead of 감사합니다. So that's just a little slang fun fact. And another thing about Korean culture is that people are obsessed with food. Everything they talk about is kind of revolved around food. So when you meet someone, they would usually say 밥 먹었어? Did you eat? So they would check if you ate. And if they want to see you next time, they'll say, or like make an not appointment, like hang out with you next time, they will say 다음에 밥 먹자. Let's eat together next time. And if you want to get someone to do a favor for you, you would like convince them by saying 밥 사줄게. I'll buy you food. So 밥 means food or meal. So 밥 먹었어? Did you eat? 다음에 밥 먹자. Let's eat together next time. 밥 사줄게. I'll buy you food next time. So your homework is already posted and it's also optional. And it's write a Korean greeting in all 3 levels of formality in Hangul. Again, the assignment is already posted. There's no due date, so you could get it done whenever you have time. And I included a website with lots of examples and a character sheet. That's it for today's session. Thank you so much for coming, and let us know if you have any questions. Bye bye!